All right, let's jump right into it. Today, we're breaking down the brand new 2025 OWASP Top 10. And if you're a developer or a security pro, you'll want to listen up. Think of this as your high-level intelligence briefing on the absolute biggest threats lurking on the internet right now. So, first off, let's just talk about the sheer scale we're dealing with here. The stuff we're about to cover, it's not based on a hunch. It's built on hard data from over 2.8 million applications. This isn't just a snapshot. It's a full-blown panoramic view of what's really happening out there. So for anyone who's new to this, what exactly is the OWASP Top 10? Well, the best way to think about it is as the internet's official most wanted list for cyber threats. It's this globally recognized guide that basically profiles the 10 most dangerous villains, the vulnerabilities that hackers love to use over and over again. And look, this is way more than just some academic paper that collects dust. No way. This is a strategic field guide. Developers and security teams all over the world use this list to hunt down the weaknesses in their own code, to build up their defenses before the bad guys come knocking. But as you know, the threat landscape is always changing. Attackers are always getting smarter. And the 2025 list, it shows a major shakeup. The criminal playbook has some new tactics, which means our most wanted list has some brand new faces on it. One of the absolute biggest changes is this new focus on software supply chain failures. And we're not just talking about using a single bad component anymore. Oh no. We're talking about these sophisticated attacks that go after the very tools and libraries that developers trust every day. It's a huge deal, and now a top-tier threat. And here's another one, a totally new villain making its debut: mishandling of exceptional conditions. So what's that? It's all about how an app breaks when it's under pressure. When an unexpected error pops up. Does the system fail safely, or does it fail open, leaving a wide open door for an attacker to just walk right in? And just to show you how much the game is changing, take a look at injection. For years, this was the kingpin of vulnerabilities, always hanging out in the top 3, a real classic. But in 2025, it's dropped all the way to number 5. That's a huge shift, and it probably means modern frameworks are finally getting better at stopping it by default. Okay, so let's get to the main event. We're going to profile the top 3 fugitives on the 2025 Most Wanted list. These are the ones you absolutely, positively need to know about. Holding down the number 1 spot for the second time in a row is broken access control. This thing is an absolute monster. It's so common, in fact, that at least one form of it was found in every single application they tested for this category. Now, what does that actually mean? It's when your application doesn't properly check who's allowed to do what. The analogy is perfect. Imagine a building where a standard employee keycard can suddenly unlock the CEO's office, the server room, everything. It's a total free-for-all. So how do you stop it? Well, the defense plan has 3 parts. First, you deny everything by default, then only grant the permissions people actually need. Second, and this is so important, you enforce these rules on the server, not in the browser where they can be easily bypassed. And finally, you log every single access failure so you can spot an attack as it's happening. Coming in hot at number 2 is a threat that's been climbing the charts: security misconfiguration. This one rocketed up from the number 5 spot in 2021, which tells you it's becoming a much bigger problem. This is basically the digital version of leaving your keys in the door. We're talking about all the simple stuff: using default admin passwords, leaving sensitive services exposed to the internet, or just turning on features you don't even need that give an attacker another way in. It's all about missing that essential security checklist. So prevention here is all about having a solid process. Instead of fixing things by hand every time, you need a repeatable, scripted hardening process. You build on a minimal platform, turn off anything you don't need, and then you automate your security checks so your setup never accidentally drifts into a vulnerable state. And at number 3, we've got the highest-ranking newcomer on the list: software supply chain failures. The security community survey actually called this out as the number 1 emerging risk, and, well, the data's backing them up. So here's the really scary part. This threat isn't in your code. Nope. It's a vulnerability hiding inside the open source libraries and third-party tools that you trust and build your own app on top of. It's basically a Trojan horse, delivered by someone you thought was a friend. And when this goes wrong, it goes catastrophically wrong. We're talking about attacks like SolarWinds, which hit thousands of organizations, including government agencies. Or even more recent stuff like the massive Bybit theft or the Glassworm attack, which snuck in through a malicious VS Code extension. The stakes here are just incredibly high. So, how do you even begin to defend against an attack coming from the inside? It starts with something called an SBOM, or a software bill of materials. Think of it as a complete ingredients list for your application. From there, you scan all those ingredients for known problems, you only get them from official sources, and you lock down your entire build pipeline. Okay, let's zoom out for a second. Because the OWASP Top 10 isn't just a to-do list of bugs you need to fix. It's really a call to action. It's about a fundamental shift in how we approach building secure software from the ground up. I absolutely love this quote from the report's methodology. It says, "The list is data-informed, but not blindly data-driven." What that means is it's this powerful mix of hard data from millions of apps, plus the expert intuition of people who can spot the next big threat before it even shows up in the stats. It's about being strategic, not just reactive. And that really gets to the core of it. The mission is changing. We have to move on from just playing whack-a-mole with bugs after they're discovered. For developers, the job is becoming less about chasing down individual flaws and more about building security in from day one, thinking about architecture and threat modeling right from the start. And that kind of leaves us with one final big question. This stuff isn't just about big companies or abstract code. These are the top 10 threats to the apps you use every single day, for your banking, for your work, for talking to your friends. So the real question is, are they actually built to stand up against the internet's most wanted?